Good morning, dear student. Today I am going to teach you about condition of agriculture during 1950 1990. In the period of 40 years, what the agriculture sector have faced. First of all, first features of or problems of agriculture we are going to discuss. First feature was low productivity due to backward technique. Yeah, Indian agriculture sector was known for its low productivity, or we can say during this period also the agriculture sector remained stagnation. Stagnation means very slow growth rate. Yeah, low productivity was found. Second, disguised unemployment. As you know that underemployment and disguised unemployment was commonly found in the agriculture sector because the farmer do not have the sufficient job for 365 days in their farms, so mostly farmers remained disguised unemployment. Third, high dependency on rainfall due to due to poor agricultural technique or irrigation facility. The farmer mainly depend upon the rainfall. There was minimum growth of the sector and that received the least rainfall. Fourth, subsistence farming. Indian agriculture Indian farmers used the crops for their self consumption rather than selling in the market. That is called the subsistence farming. Subsistence farming, uh, a practice of growing crops for one's own use. The farmer only used to such type of farm product which are consumed by them only. Now, outdated technology. We uses we uses the backward technique. We used backward technique, obsolete technology, and harvesting machines. Harvesting was generally done manually and with the help of animals and manually. And conflict between tenant and landlords. Landlords are those who actually own the land, but tenants are those who cultivate the land, and generally there was a conflict found between these two. Landlord used to extract a huge amount of interest from farmers and deprive them of their. Now, policies of growth of agriculture. First of all, abolition, we can say land reform. Land reform primarily used to change in the ownership of the land holding. Who is the last tiller? They will be the real owner of the. There was a owner of the land. There was a great need for land reform in a country like India, where majority of population still depends upon agriculture. Land reform were needed to achieve the objective of equity in agriculture, or we can say abolition of zamindari system and abolition of intermediaries. Indian government took various steps to abolish intermediaries and to make tillers the owner of land. The idea behind this step was that ownership of land would give incentive to the actual tillers to make improvement. Second, the abolition of intermediaries brought 200 lakh tenants into direct contact with the government. The ownership rights granted to tenants have gave them the incentive to increase output, and this contributed to growth in agriculture. However, the goal of equity was not fully served by abolition of intermediary because of the following reason. In some areas, the former zamindars continued to own continued to own continued to own large areas of land by making use of some loopholes in the legislation. In some cases, tenants were evicted and Jamindar claimed to be self-cultivator. Even after getting the ownership of land, the poorest of the agricultural laborer did not benefit from the reform. Now, land ceiling. Land ceiling is the uppermost limit that a farmer can hold the land is called the land ceiling. For example, if we say 1,000 uh, acre of the land is upper limit for giving a land to the farmer, the such zamindars who having more than 1,000 acres of the land will go in the government, uh, and the government will distribute to the poorest section. This is called the land ceiling. Land ceiling refers to the fixing the specified limit of land which could be owned by an individual. Beyond the specified limit, all lands belonging to a particular person would be taken over by the government and will be allotted to the landless cultivator and the small farmers. The purpose of land ceiling was to reduce the concentration of land ownership in few hands. Again, land ceiling helped to promote equity in the agriculture sector. However, the land ceiling legislation was challenged by the big landlords. They delayed its implementation. This delay time was used by them to get the land registered to the name of close relative, thereby escaping from the legislation. Now, conclusion. Land reforms were successful in Kerala and West Bengal because government of these states were committed to the policy of land reform. Unfortunately, other states did not have the same level of commitment, and the vast inequality of land holding continued. Now, new agricultural strategy, that is green revolution in India. The new agricultural strategy was adopted during the third 5 year plan during 1960s, decade of 1960s. The traditional agriculture practices followed in India were gradually being replaced by modern technique and agricultural practice. Of the strategy was the aim of the strategy was to raise agricultural production and productivity in selected regions of the country through the introduction of modern inputs like fertilizer, credit, marketing facility. Green Revolution. At the time of independence, about 75% of the country's population was dependent on the agriculture. India's agriculture vitally depends on the monsoon, and in case of shortage of monsoon, the farmer had to face lot of troubles. Moreover, the productivity in the agriculture sector was very low due to the outdated technology and absence of required infrastructure. As a result of intensive and continued efforts of many agriculture scientists, this stagnation in agriculture was permanently broken by Green Revolution. Green Revolution refers to Green Revolution refers to large increase in production of food grains due to the use of high yielding variety seeds. Green Revolution is the spectacular advancement in the field of agriculture. HYB seeds, main reason for agricultural revolution. Agricultural revolution occurred primarily due to the miracle of new wonder seeds, that is high yielding variety HYB seeds, which raised agricultural yield per acre to incredible heights. These seeds can be used in those places where there were adequate facility for drainage and water supply. As compared to other ordinary seeds, these seeds need heavy dosage of chemical fertilizer, 4 to 10 times more fertilizer to get the largest possible production. So, to derive benefit from HYB seeds, Indian farmer need to have number first reliable irrigation facility, second financial resource to purchase fertilizer and pesticide, Indian economy experienced the success of Green Revolution in the two phases. In the first phase, mid 60 to mid 70, the use of HYV seeds was restricted to more affluent states like Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, etc. Further, the use of HYV seeds primarily benefited the wheat growing regions only. In the second phase, in the mid 70s to mid 80s, the HIV seeds spread to a large number of states and benefited more variety of crops. Important effect of green revolution. The spread of green revolution technology enabled India to achieve self-sufficiency in food grains. India was no longer the mercy of America or any another nation for the food requirement. Attaining marketable surplus. Green revolution resulted in marketable surplus. Marketable surplus refers to that part of agricultural produce which is sold in the market by the farmers after meeting their own consumption requirement. That is called marketable surplus. Fortunately, a good proportion of rice and wheat produced during the Green Revolution period was sold by the farmer at the market. Buffer stock of food grain. The Green Revolution enabled the government to procure sufficient amount of food grains to build a buffer stock which could be used in time of food shortage. Benefit benefits to income groups, low income group. As large proportion of food grains was sold by the farmer in the market, their prices declined relatively to other items of consumption. The low income groups who spent a larger percentage of their income on food benefited from the decline in relative prices. In the next class, I will discuss about the subsidies in agriculture sector, and some are in favor and some economists are in against. And for today, uh, the condition of agriculture was discussed. In the next class we will discuss about the subsidies and then industrial development, or we will talk about the industrial development. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.